So I'm not sure if this is going to turn into a rant or not. I'm just going to wing it and see what happens or what comes out. So essentially, I did not review last night's episode of DBS because it was atrocious and because I only review episodes where there is fighting involved because I'm an action whore. Okay, no, that's just a troll. That's definitely not the reason why. The reason why I didn't review the episode had nothing to do with the episode itself. It honestly came down to the fact that I was very frustrated because, well, yesterday was a very busy day for me because in the morning I had a national examination that I had to take. It lasted a little bit over 2 hours, and then after that I had to go see Power Rangers. And then after that, I needed to go buy some groceries. And then after that, I came back home to watch the episode. But Crunchyroll was messing up. I know what some of you may be thinking at this point, like, poor little Sawyer, he can't watch his anime episode and he's like, throwing a fit. But let me tell you something. This is not, first of all, it's not the first time this has happened. It happened last week. I mentioned it in my last DBS review in the beginning. So that's not the first time. Second of all, you have to remember Crunchyroll is a service. Money goes into it. All right, people have to pay for their subscription. And even if you don't have a subscription, you have to sit through the ads. Look, if we're being 100% honest here, we do live in a world where if people really don't want to, then they don't pay for their anime. They just really don't. They go elsewhere and find out. And that's exactly what this type of situation kind of generates. It's like this resentment. I read a bunch of comments of people threatening to unsubscribe to Crunchyroll and be like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is out of control. There was one comment that said that this also happened, with the Naruto episode. So yeah, a lot of people are upset, and understandably so. The people who pay, I don't think they pay, like, begrudgingly. Or they don't pay, like, oh, man, here's your money. No, I genuinely think that, out of a bunch of fandoms, the anime fandom does have like a very good heart at its core. I think that's one of the things that sets it apart is that they're actually very loyal people and they actually do help other people in the fandom, in the community. And a lot of people actually do want to try their best to support the stuff that they love, which in this case is anime. The only issue arises when the service doesn't deliver what it's supposed to when it's supposed to. In fact, it actually kind of defeats the purpose of having a countdown there, because you get the countdown and the timer goes down, and when it hits 0, you're like, okay, now we can watch an anime episode. But in this case, it's like I either get errors or I get lag, and it just gets stuck. The episode gets stuck. So please fix this. I don't care how many body pillows or weeaboo souls you need to sacrifice to the anime machine to keep it running. But please fix this, all right? Because last night I was frustrated. I actually said, you know what, screw it. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it last night. I'm just gonna, I have to relax. Just screw it. I'm not gonna let an anime episode like keep me in check and be like, oh, when is it coming out? No, screw it, all right? I have a lot. My time, not to be a dick, but my time, it's very limited right now, and it's also very valuable because of the same reason. So yeah, I decided to turn off like the anime. And then I woke up and I watched it in the morning. Also, and again, not to be rude or anything, but like I kind of had the idea that the episode wasn't going to be anything too special, too amazing. So the fact that it was delayed, and I'm sitting there waiting for the episode, that got me even more frustrated. So I was like, I'm done. And I know a lot of people may be thinking like, well, why didn't you go and watch it on some other site? Because I like actually going to Crunchyroll for it. I really like watching the animation alongside the official subs, because if I'm going to do a review, all right, I know people get very, very sensitive about like when you mess up like a sub, and when you actually like talk about something that meant something, but in the official subs, like there's a different meaning to it, or the subs kind of like expand on a certain concept. And so I think to me, it's a lot better to anchor the discussion based on the official translation, the official subtitles for the episode. So that's why I choose to wait, and that's why I chose to sort of like stick around for Crunchyroll. So just by doing that alone, I'm already late because the stream has already aired, the live stream, the DBS live stream. And so if Crunchyroll has issues, then that delays everything even more. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the episode, believe it or not. Sorry if I bored you with this issue, but I just really wanted to get it out. I thought this episode was overall okay. I don't think it was really good, and I don't think it was really bad. The main thing here, I guess, is that Bula is born. I have a question about whether or not what Wheeze did he actually make time for Bula, flow faster, and that's why she was able to like get out of of Bulma's uterus? Or was it actually like magic and just like, oh, one moment you're in, one moment you're out. Ta-da! Here's a rabbit right out of the hat. Because if it's time manipulation, I think that's been established that it's kind of against the rules. Because if Whis' powers could allow him to make people older or younger, manipulate age, that would be pretty broken. That'd be pretty sick, but it'd be OP. So that's why I think it was more of a magic trick. Really likes Vegeta sort of like discovering his paternal side, is sort of like developing that fatherly role. Because he knows that he cares about this kid and about his family in general, but he keeps it to himself. So when he holds Bulla, that was really cool. He gets pissed a lot throughout the episode, and who wouldn't? I mean, you have Yamcha, you have your wife's ex coming in to hold the baby. I mean, what the hell? What was that Yamcha sequence for? Other than comedy, I don't really, because he gets so hyped up about being called to participate in the tournament. He says like, I'm gonna go home and wait for them to call. I'm gonna wait for them to knock on my door and say, Yamcha, come with us. You're part of the top 10. It'd be funny if they actually have like a mini sequence that says like 100 years later, and Yamcha is just like a skeleton in his couch waiting to be called for the tournament, just straight up waiting there, dead. Okay, it would be cool because it would mean kind of like even Yamcha's expectations were capable of killing Yamcha. There's a pretty interesting mind simulation scene with Goku and Gohan thinking about how Krillin would be able to match up against Basil, and in Gohan's mind, Krillin takes the L, but then Goku says no. Like, he's been training. In fact, that's actually what the upcoming episode is going to be about. He's even in the preview, it says like Krillin has developed this new technique or this new attack, and by the end, we see Goku in the preview going Super Saiyan Blue. It's like, gee, I wonder if Goku really goes like Super Saiyan Blue against Krillin. I wonder who's gonna fucking win. Like, seriously? So what I think is gonna happen is that Goku's actually gonna win, but during the fight, Krillin's gonna pull something off, some type of crazy technique that is going to end up surprising Goku, just to give Krillin a little bit of shine before the actual tournament starts. That's what I think is going to happen. Anyway, I like the fact that the episode addressed the whole like Monaka BS with Beerus, because like Goku automatically thinks of Monaka. Let's recruit Monaka, and Beerus is like, no, he's not feeling well. He can never know the truth about this. I also found it pretty ridiculous that Vegeta wants to stay near Bulma to take care of Bola because he wants to be a father, he wants to be there for his family, yet at the same time he is unaware of the fact that if Universe 7 loses in the tournament, the entire universe just goes to shit. It gets destroyed. So no more Bulma and Bola for Vegeta. And I think the reason for that is that they're actually waiting for him to actually be in the tournament so that he actually finds out that that's the consequence, and that he can get angry when he finds out, so that he can get like a boost. But anyway, I also thought that the conversation when Gohan and Goku were talking about the top 10, the discussion was really, really floppy. Like, I was counting like these fighters on my fingers and stuff. Well, not on my fingers, but like I was just thinking, okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think they mentioned Piccolo. I don't think they mentioned Tenshin Han. And all of a sudden, like, they say, oh, that makes 9. Wait, what? I mean, they just rushed through that roster like nobody's business. I did notice that they were also using sort of some screenshots from the opening when they were discussing the characters, especially with Roshi. Last but not least, and this is probably going to be the most controversial part of the entire episode, is when the Kaioshin actually says, well, before that, I mean, it would make sense that if you're actually scouting for the top 10, you would look in other planets aside from Earth, right? And if you notice, all of the people in the roster are actually on Earth right now. So we know what the roster is. So it's kind of like, wait, why don't you go to other planets? And it turns out the Kaioshin actually says, well, we don't really keep tabs on the power levels of people in other planets. And by the way, there's only 28 planets with life in Universe 7. 28 planets in the entire universe. That's a little bit low, especially if you take into consideration theories about like universe expansion that says that, the universe is, or our universe is always expanding. But at the same time, it does kind of make sense in terms of like the Dragon Ball lore, because we've had a shit ton of planet busters going around wrecking planets. Like Boo, Frieza, even Beerus was destroying planets. And then after the Kaioshin says that, it's like, yeah, you know what? And you know, the fact that you don't keep tabs on people in terms of their power levels, that's exactly why we're second to last in the rankings. So do your fucking job, Kaioshin. Not gonna lie, the Kaioshin should probably be fired at this point. They really should. Find somebody who can actually do their jobs well so that we can go up in the rankings. That being said, there could be another reason as to why they're excluding the planets from this, and it's because they might want to use that as an opening to introduce new characters within the same universe later on and say, oh, this guy from this planet number 26, he's pretty strong too. That's it for me. Like I said, it was an okay episode. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment down below with your thoughts. Thank you guys. Bye.